We are well into the Wednesday night wars where AEW goes up against NXT week after week. But does AEW's women wrestling scene seem a little weak? Stick around.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of VGR Locked Down. I'm your host, Double A Ron, along with my main man, Steven. I'm feeling good. I was at my home away from home in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I went to AEW, my main man, Andy Preissner. Everything was good. The show was fantastic. It was just one issue I ran into, and in my opinion, it's really distracting. And the women wrestling, it's not the worst. I've seen much worse, but it's nowhere near on par with WWE. I mean, yes, Britt Baker, she had a great hometown ovation. The hometown was loving her. She came out with that Steelers mascot. You know, she went against Jamie Hayter. Everything was good, but it's one thing y'all didn't see, which I saw, which was that fatal four-way match. And it was between, like, these four women who, it was, let's go ahead, let me name them, because I don't even know them. They're new. It was between...
Come on, man.
I had it, man. I had it. I had their name and everything. Oh, here we go. Emily Sumira, Penelope Ford, Ali, and Sadie Gibbs. If you want to talk about horrible match, everybody that I was sitting next to was cheering for this match to end. They say, please let that be in. They had all these near falls. It was so many botches. It was so sloppy. But that's like the bottom feeder of AEW. But I'm just using as an example of horrible matches. Now, Rio, she is their champion. That means she's their top female wrestler at this time. Are we really going to sit here and try to put her in the same category as Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Asuka? She might not even be on the same level as like Ruby Rose or Lacey Evans, but she's their champion, and that's a really big problem. Has she had some decent matches? Absolutely. But it's a couple things they might have to do. They might have to do more promos. They might have to do more of trying to get to know these characters and put them in matches and put them in situations to have much better matches. But all I'm saying is the women's division of AEW is just not good at this time, especially when you compare it to the WWE. And it's like really distracting because it's just like, man, this makes y'all seem second class as far as y'all women division goes. And y'all talking about, I remember Brandy Rose said, oh, if a woman is, she's the main eventing and she's doing her same thing and she'll get paid the same. Y'all shouldn't get paid the same as the men in wrestling if y'all going to do stuff like that. Now, people like Charlotte, yes. And I said to somebody in the audience that was sitting next to me, I'm like, hey, how are we going to be able, how is the women's division going to be able to be at least somewhere on par with WWE? He said, add more women. I said, who you going to add? Old dirty bitch. Nah, she's in her 40s. She was ODB back when I was in high school, so I can only imagine how she is now. He said Victoria. I said, you're naming people in their late 40s. Yes, Chris Jericho is doing good, but name me somebody who's at least in their 30s, in their late 30s. I said, what if Ronda Rousey came to AEW, because she's not going to be signed with the WWE too much longer. What if she came to AEW? Someone said, well, who's going to compete with her? And I said, good point. I wouldn't want to see any of these females compete with Ronda Rousey. All those matches I wouldn't want to see. So it's like they got to do something to, bring their women wrestlers up. So what do you think could be done about that, Steve?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, honestly, WWE completely purged the women's division worldwide. There's really nothing left out there. I mean, they when they started the Mae Young Classic a few years ago, they got a whole bunch of female wrestlers. They hired some, let some fall to the side, and then they started picking them all up to the point where with all of the brands that they have, and think about it, they have 4 women's divisions. There's the Raw women's division, there's the SmackDown, there's the NXT, and the NXT UK. And they pretty much depleted worldwide. The only other women that are really out there are, and they're not bad talents. I can't name any of them, but most of them are Japanese wrestlers. Because, I mean, typically, the Japanese women have been the best wrestlers worldwide. And unfortunately, with AEW, the language barrier, picking them up won't really help them due to that language barrier. It's kind of like, as long as Asuka was kicking ass and not really talking, she was great. But after they ended her undefeated streak, and when it comes to her talking, and that's why now she strictly speaks Japanese.
Yeah, well, my biggest thing is, it's like, what happened? For one, a question. I'm not sure if you know. Remember that girl that was supposed to be their version of Bailey? It began with an R. Rio. She used to wear like the Pikachu outfits and stuff. She used to smile all the time. She was legit like their version of Bailey. She retired, but now she's in TNA. She's not even with the company anymore. So I think stuff like that, they really got to make sure they keep their people happy, because that was a big loss to them. And I wish I knew her name. But obviously,
I don't think it was a big loss in the sense of, as of right now, nobody's watching AEW for their women's division. They never were. They were watching it for the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega.
I get that. But having a powerful women's division, I think, would really benefit them, especially if you're giving them 20-minute runs. It's not like, they get 5-minute squash matches or they come out there and do a little dance and that's it. They're getting 20-minute run times with their belts. So if you're taking away 20 minutes of my time from a 2-hour show, I think that at the very least you need to give me something that we could really invest in. You don't agree with that?
That's true. But I mean, based on the skill that the ladies that they have currently have, the only thing they can do is shorten their match times.
Well, can they get like a promo? Like, did you see when Jamie Hayter was about to cut a promo and Brandy Rose just punched her in the back of the head? And I'm thinking she's looking, and she took the mic and would look like she's about to talk and just walked off. And I'm like, okay, all right, maybe we're going to get a little bit of insight why she hit her, why she attacked her, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, where is this going? And it went absolutely nowhere. And I'm really afraid that they might just drop that next week.
Well, for their women's division, I mean, having promos, talk time, it's great. That's wonderful. Problem is, they're not going to be able to deliver in the ring without shorter matches. So at the end of the day, they're still going to have to shorten those matches for them, unfortunately, until they get their skill up. Part of the reason why their division is also weaker is because, guess what? WWE built their division. And I don't mean they just went out and hired people. They built their foundation. So they ran Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha Banks. Who am I forgetting?
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, of course. I don't know how I forgot her. I thought I said her first. But they went through the NXT system when the main roster was a little bit weaker. So they built their foundation from the ground up. And then they purged the rest of the wrestling world to fill out the bottom.
Well, that is true. But there has always been. That's the misconception. They had this whole Divas Revolution. There's always been talented women in wrestling, but then y'all went away from hiring and promoting the women that were actually talented.
No, this is what happened. Those talented women are in TNA.
Yeah, and that's
so the only way. So WWE pretty much took everything that was left on the market. The next best women were locked down with contracts in TNA. So what AEW has right now is just what's left. So unless they can build their own female wrestlers, and of course, at this stage in the game, they don't need to waste the resources on that. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, people aren't watching AEW for their women's division. So,
well, this is what I could say, what they could do to improve. Because these are not horrible workers. They're not good compared to WWE, but they're not the worst. Because I've seen some female matches that were really bad. Remember that Tough Enough chick? When she had to try to fight Mickie James? That was horrible. That type of stuff, I would be like, okay, you just shouldn't put women on the show. But Rio versus, who's that Nia Jax wannabe chick?
I mean, that was a great match. But,
yeah.
I mean, as of right now, and as a whole, your division is weak, and you want to pretty much hide your weaknesses.
Yeah, like Rios versus Nyla Rose was pretty good.
I think by having shorter matches, they can hide their weaknesses.
No, they could have good matches. It's just give us something. Did you see the promo when Brandy Rose was talking about figure skating?
I keep telling you need more than just promos. And
No. But this was a promo video when she was talking about how she always let down. She's 36. This was her last time. She feels like that really gave us insight on the character and made us want to follow her. They didn't follow up with it, but what I'm saying is maybe do more things like that I have no idea about Rios. I have no idea what her interest is. She obviously likes the belt. I have no idea what her goals are. I have no idea about her character. Same with Britt Baker. Same with most of the females on the roster. So if you want to make us follow their characters, maybe create promo packages or something to follow their characters. I think that would really help.
I don't disagree. But at the end of the day, you need more than just promos. They still got to get in the ring and deliver, because you can't get me interested in your character, then you get in the ring and you deliver me complete crap.
Well, their in-ring work isn't horrible. Their in-ring work is decent.
I never said it was horrible. All I said
all
was
they're missing is their character.
They need to shorten those matches.
That's true, but basic character can hide a lot. I mean, honestly, no one's going to mistake John Cena for Shawn Michaels, but his character was so good that's what really invested in him.
Right. But nonetheless, they didn't take John Cena in his early days and then throw him also in a 20-minute match that he couldn't deliver.
He delivered with Brock Lesnar, and he was really green when he fought Brock Lesnar in that main event.
Right, but they didn't deliver a crappy 20-minute match.
It was good.
I'm saying. John Cena and both Brock could actually go in the ring and deliver a match in the ring based off of their characters as well. These women, they have no character.
Nope.
And they don't have the skill to fully get over without it. So, no, don't put them in a 20-minute match. Take that 20 minutes, cut it in half, give them 10, and use the other 10 to get some promo work out there.
For sure.
But hey, that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us for another edition of VGR Lockdown. Make sure, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. I'll catch you guys next time.